you want to be in the trade. You don't want to wait till this thing's running up and try to jump in halfway through. No, you want that fat gain that.
Biggs and Boggs.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Your Future Hand with Biggs and Boggs. My name is Marty Boggs.
And I'm Julian Biggs.
Today in this video, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency. Why you clicked on this video? Because it's hot. That's why. Bitcoin.
That Bitcoin's so hot right now.
Thanks for viewing. And like and subscribe. And we will get into who we are towards the end of this video because this is our first episode. Yes. So, welcome. Julian, what are we up to today?
What are we up to today?
So, how can we plan for tomorrow?
Exactly, right. So we'll get right into it. We're going to take a look at the crypto markets, take a little market scope.
Market scope.
Today, the overall market cap sitting at $2.79 trillion. We are a bit down from last week. 24-hour volume coming in at $83 billion. BTC dominance at 43.2%. ETH dominance at 19.3%. Gas fees still outrageous at 101 Gwei.
Wow.
Yeah.
They got to take care of that.
They do need to take care of that, or they're going to have a run for their money elsewhere. I mean, their network is
a lot of up-and-comers.
Yeah, network is growing solid, but that is a bit outrageous. And if you're someone like us, if you're maybe a little bit smaller in the market, those transaction fees are going to kill you.
Well, everybody knows Bitcoin is king.
Let's take a look at where Bitcoin is today. So right now we're looking at the Bitcoin versus US dollar on the 4-hour time frame. And you can see we've still come down from our high, just now holding 64,000, which is good, and multiple bounces, as you can see here on the support line coming down. So things are still looking good. People would tell you that the Bitcoin price is struggling today. I don't think that it's struggling. I think it's chilling, getting ready for its next move.
It's definitely looking very similar to about 2 weeks ago.
100%. So this is just, I think, another accumulation phase before we start heading back up. We honestly could come down, test that 63 to 62, maybe 61.8 range before we move back up, but nothing to be too worried about at this point, I don't think.
Still in an uptrend.
Still
looking bullish, as they say. We'll see how this week plays out.
Yeah.
Because it'll determine towards the end of the week, if we don't know, if we're not looking good, we might be looking bad.
No. If we're not looking good, we might be looking bad.
Sometimes you don't know. It's just sideways.
Yeah, and we look at the Bitcoin chart because we know that the Bitcoin chart is the leader of this musical chairs game, and you want to know what Bitcoin is doing in order to know what the rest of the market has.
So if you're new to crypto, get to know Bitcoin, start watching it, and go from there. But you have done pretty well on some other tokens this week, you were telling me.
I have. So, yes. While BTC's been cooling off, I've been taking more of a look at some of the smaller cap altcoins, specifically gaming, crypto, because it's so new and there's so much energy and there's so much hype around it right now that if you're looking for fat 5, 10, 20x gains, you're not going to get them on Bitcoin. You're going to find them on these smaller cap alts, but you want to know what Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
I don't know if we're going to shorten it up, but we might with Biggs and Boggs. It might just be Bitcoin from now on.
Oh, shit. I like it.
Yeah, get in early. So, we want to see what Bitcoin's doing. I do think it's going to bounce and start moving up, and then we're probably going to be looking pretty good in some of these gaming tokens.
In which case that might hurt the gaming tokens, though, because when Bitcoin starts to run, everybody seems to hop on that train, and you see a lot of other coins.
Yes, but right now, while Bitcoin's cooling off, and then potentially over the next few days, if it doesn't make a big run up right away, is the time to be getting into these smaller altcoins, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Now, you want to be in the trade, right? You don't want to wait till this thing's running up and try to jump in halfway through. No, you want that fat gain that some of these things have been delivering. Like, I mean, Axie Infinity is a prime example, was the first one to run this year, and I guarantee that made a lot of people a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Decentraland Mana was another one to pop and do 5x just recently. Sandbox just recently did a 3x. Engine Coin is also another one that's going to be doing well here. Like, I mean, that's probably just a solid investment moving forward.
Let us know what gaming tokens you're looking at.
So
down below in the comments.
Yeah. If you're looking at gaming tokens, if you're looking at gaming crypto, we want to know what you're getting into.
I was just going to ask Julian, where the hell do you find all these gaming tokens? And it's like, let us know.
Crypto gaming.
I'm sure
if you're looking at crypto gaming, I mean, it's just so early, and some of these things are just launching now that the opportunities are really good. So
that's how a successful investor is successful.
100%.
They take
one that we don't see here is Cryo War. Cryo War is another NFT game that just launched on the Solana network. It looks super cool, super awesome. I did put some money in there just the other day. Fresh launch on KuCoin. You can find it there. And that's another thing. We will be posting our links down below that you can access some of these coins through KuCoin or Binance. Or if you're looking to get in now and you're wondering if you're too late, or if you're wondering if it's still a good time to buy, I in my opinion, yes, I think that we do still have some time left in this bull run. You're not. I mean, you might get some out of Bitcoin. People are talking 150,000, 187,000 for Bitcoin. I don't think so. I think that's a little far at this point. Maybe next year, but I mean, I think we're going to see that sell-off come in December, somewhere probably under 100K.
Think about all the people that have been holding Bitcoin for 10 years.
The other thing that
they're going to sell.
The other thing that I want to focus on in this channel that we're talking about too is the psychological aspect of this game. And a lot of people on YouTube were, and I appreciate what they're doing because I watch their content almost on the daily. There's the reason we're here is because I can't find enough crypto content. So, but a lot of these people that are, they're helping mass adoption and they're educating people, and that is fantastic, and I got to respect that. But for new investors, for noobs coming on, and all this hype telling you, 70K is imminent, it's just around the corner, 100K is imminent, it's just around the corner. It's like, there's steps to this, and it takes a lot longer than people think to get to these numbers. So as a new investor, you should be aware of the psychological aspect, and it's not going to hit these numbers before it dumps on you. So
also because they have their sell orders just below these numbers, so they want you to think it's going to go there, so they hit their targets.
Bitcoin is fickle, and she will freaking get you. You know what I mean? Like, this is a very volatile asset class, and right now we're seeing the volatility. Actually, the volatility of Bitcoin is actually dramatically coming down right now. It's been trending down. To me, that potentially means that we could come into, a major leg up, like we're all hoping, but that's not always the reality. So people need to be aware of the fact that Bitcoin in its history has been serving up 30% corrections, 40% corrections since its dawn, right? So there's 14,000 coins here.
Exactly, right. So we can make future videos about future coins. If you guys have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below. We'll try to address them in future videos. Obviously the gaming tokens are where it's at right now. People are making huge gains, and the opportunity is potentially still there, not quite over. But I would like to talk about just something a little bit different here, just because it has to do with the gaming tokens. It has to do with all of crypto. It has to do with the system we have now compared to the system that we could possibly have if crypto, it doesn't even need to become fully adopted, but just like, you know what I mean? Like, we're obviously trending in that direction, but obviously a lot of barriers to break down to get there. A lot of people that like the system the way it is, and a lot of people that are very powerful that like the system the way it is, and they don't want it to change, right? Because Bitcoin essentially is for everybody. All these cryptocurrencies are decentralized, which it means that it's not controlled by one person or a group of people or something like that. Everybody has a say, everybody has a vote, everybody's involved. And that's really what we all want. And if you don't know anything about crypto, start buying some Bitcoin, $10-15 a week or something like that, and just hold it, because that is basically you buying value and you holding value, and then you can use your asset essentially to trade for goods and services down the line. But essentially, if you don't own anything, you literally could be sleeping on the streets and have nothing to your name, and you can buy some Bitcoin, you now own property. So that's where we want to go. But what's holding us back? Like, what's holding us back really?
I mean,
inflation is something everyone's talking about.
Well, inflation is definitely not holding people back on Bitcoin at this point, as we can see.
Well, just something that's,
Yeah, so I mean, like, inflation, we're in Canada here, so, we're obviously driven by the U.S. currency as well, but, our inflation was a little bit lower of an increase, I think, than the U.S., but, we're seeing higher rates than the past 18 years. I think was the last high that we saw here in Canada, and I think for 31 years for the United States. But what we're seeing as a result of that is people pouring money into things like digital assets. And as long as they continue to inflate and give people free money, then people are going to take that free money and they're going to put it into Bitcoin, like 100%. You know what I mean? If the interest rate on a fiat loan is next to nothing, and Bitcoin's returned 340% this year, 340% or something like that, right?
Boatmaster took every CERB check he got and put it into Bitcoin.
There you go.
That's why.
Wow. Maybe don't say that.
Well, it's Boatmaster.
Good for him. You know what I mean? But fiat loan is cheap, and fiat is becoming toilet paper. They're burning it themselves, right? So, you can't just print $3 trillion and dump it on the people for free and expect people not to run to something something better and more secure. And that's Bitcoin. So like Marty said, it's the best savings account you can ever have. You do not have to be rich to start in cryptocurrency. You can start with $5, $10 a week, whatever your budget is, just start. I don't know what you're afraid of.
If you smoke cigarettes, you have a budget.
Yeah. 100%.
You understand.
Trash the ash, pal. But anyway, you can start with as little as you want. It doesn't matter. But just start. That's
I just
it.
use cigarettes because it's like a very cheap habit, I would assume.
Yeah. Oh, not anymore with inflation.
Well, it's opposed to cocaine and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Because people have to think you have to be able to do cocaine to buy Bitcoin, but you don't.
Yeah.
You can just.
So I mean that's why we've been starting to look at cryptocurrencies and starting to get more involved, because the trend is rising, and it's now very evident that we're going to pronounce words wrong probably quite a bit on this show too, and that's okay. But it's becoming very evident that the system, the financial and the traditional system that we have now, is in strong need of improvement. And now that people realize that with Bitcoin now, that it's not even I don't think I'm going to get rich overnight.
No.
I know that I'm going to be very comfortable in the future.
Exactly. Future security.
Holding Bitcoin, right?
Hope for future security. The best hope for future security if I've ever seen one.
A best hope for future security, but honestly just a best hope for a better future for everyone involved. This is property rights for everybody, as long as you have the device capable of acquiring the Bitcoin, right? And what this offers is just a chance at freedom for people. It really is. It offers you a chance at financial freedom. It's really rewarding doing something like this for yourself. So,
we're in a place in humanity now where we can take care of ourselves, I think. I don't think we need the messengers anymore.
No. And that's just the point. They want to cut out the middleman, right?
Yeah.
And that's what Bitcoin does. It cuts out the middleman, gets things to where they got to go faster with less fees, right? So, and some of these things are working on fees that are even cheaper and moving the money faster.
The ones with the lowest fees are the ones that are getting held back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, what do you mean you can't do that for free?
Yeah, XRP. That's a very centralized token, Ripple network, that you mentioned that. But I think I just saw there was just a wallet address transaction for XRP that went through. It was like $12 billion, and the transaction fee was 0.00002 of an XRP. And XRP is worth $1.20 or something like that. So it's a fraction of a penny to send $12 billion across the world, right? So to think that the whole world isn't going to adopt this and wake up and figure this out, they are. So get in, whether it's $10 a week.
Yeah,
or
basically they're trying to put the fire out, because nothing can happen too fast. That's another funny thing too, because it seems like everything that the human race has gone through,
right.
Like there's always people that know it's going to happen
100%
early,
100%,
and then it does, but it's over like 10 or 15 years that these transitions,
right.
Humans move through these transitions to try and keep everything.
And that to me ties into the psychological narrative that we know that comes through from these people like that you talk about, who may or may not know for that extended period of time of how these markets are going to fluctuate and what's going to happen in the future and how it's going to go. And so if they control the narrative, they're the ones that control consumerism and give us the products that we use and we know. And so what is the main thing that's used right now? It's social media, right? To connect everybody. And what does that give you? It gives you a sense of connection with everybody else. It gives you likes. It gives you follows. It's a dopamine release. It makes you feel good. You get to interact. It's a network growth, right? The difference between those types of social media networks that to drive us for instant gratification and being extremely vain and chasing all this attention and everything else, because that's the only use that we as the user, or that's the only benefit we as the user get from those networks. But when you decide to adopt and get some Bitcoin and get into the Bitcoin network, if you're a user of that network, or whatever it may be, Ethereum, Solana, whatever, if you're a user of that network, you are an owner of a share of that network. The reward is physical. You get a financial return out of it. So you still get a dopamine release. You get a little bit of a dopamine fix, but you're actually an end user or an end shareholder once you become a part of that network. So if 120 million. Well, I think we're at 150 million users now, or something like that. Maybe more. I'm not quite sure what we are in the for wallet addresses. But you know what I mean? Like
growing.
It's growing. Another 100 million people add $10 a week. Another 100. You know what I mean? Like with the exponential growth that we're seeing over the last few years. I mean,
just keep in mind,
we're looking at huge numbers.
Exactly. But and that will always win in the long run. But keep in mind, there's going to be those people that have been holding for 10, however long, for a while. That have been holding a long time. And holding a lot of it, and they're going to dump. So you're going to see these huge dumps, but that's when you buy. When you see that happen, that's when you buy. If you're doing your $10, $15 a week, and you're just as the market fluctuates, and you see a huge dump like that, that's when you throw in $50. That's when you take advantage of those times, because right now we're seeing what a lot of people got wrecked in 2017 was the panic sell, and everyone's looking at their phone like every 5 seconds, like, oh my god, have they sold yet? Oh my god, should I sell? Everyone's freaking out, panic sell. Well, that's happening to the point now where we are, and I think is it's going to flip. It's going to be a panic buy. At some point, people are going to start panic buying. And that's when we're going to see something that all these guys are talking about, the 100K, the whatever, like these 108 targets and stuff like that.
I really like what there's another YouTube influencer.
So buy the dip.
Raoul Pal. And that's exactly what he says, is that this cycle is going to be different, that we will see that sell-off and that correction in December. But now with the new institutional money that has come in this year, and ETFs and everything else, he thinks that we'll see that sell-off. And then when people are expecting the usual bear market to come in the new year,
everybody's waiting for it.
Waiting for it, but you've got all these institutional investors, or all this new capital coming in. From different venture capitalists.
Exactly.
And he foresees another rally coming in January or February when everyone's sold and nobody's expecting it, and they could potentially just push this thing right out of reach.
But they're going to let it dump to scare the little guy out.
I don't. The other thing that I see with this too is that. If they go up too fast, if they allow this to go up too fast, unless this is the event that really kind of just changes the traditional financial structure as we know it, they won't let it go too fast, because it'll wreck the rest of the investment structure that they have. You know what I mean? If Bitcoin goes to $500,000, like, who's going to buy stocks anymore? You know what I mean? Like the S&P index has done 14%. Or no, actually, I think this, on average, over the last few years, it does about 14%. I think this year, with inflation, is another reason why you would see it go up. I think the S&P index did like 31% or 34% this year, or something like that. So, that was a pretty good year. But if we see massive gain potential to 500,000 Bitcoin, like, people are not going to. Why would you bother investing into the other asset class? I mean, it still has a space.
Well, the rich people want more money, right? They want.
That's just it. Rich people want more money, and they now know the money is in Bitcoin. They're coming for it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you want to be in there. You want to be in there when they put their money in.
Yeah, exactly. Because they want to buy your Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And if you hold Bitcoin, then you are like, you can do whatever you want with it. You don't have to sell it.
Yeah. And if you wait till they have their money in there, you won't be able to afford it.
Exactly. And you don't have to buy one Bitcoin at a time, just so you know. You can buy one. I don't know, you probably have to buy like 4,000 or 5,000 Satoshi or something like that, but is the lowest you could buy. But that's not a lot of money. Don't worry about it.
But that's the error that it fixes, in my opinion, is that you can fractionalize it. So you have an immutable ledger
exactly
that 8 billion people have access to, that literally cannot be changed. Everybody has an equal playing field regardless of your budget. Whether your budget is $5 or $5 billion, it doesn't matter, right? Everybody gets the same return out of what they put in, right? So, it's really amazing, really.
Exactly. So whatever you can afford.
Yeah, so I think that about wraps it up for today. If you're new to the channel like we are, thank you very much for tuning in. Please follow us on our crypto journey and share knowledge in the comments with us. Join us on our journey. Get in early. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll have all the links in the comments and in the description and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, good to have you guys. Thanks for viewing.
Catch you in the next one.
Later.